Hello everybody and welcome. Thank you so much for your interest in my Leitmotiv-based dynamic music pack. This video is going to be a bit of a shorter one. If you want a really long deep dive, there's another one going right into the description. There's another video that goes through just basically a loop of the different tracks going from one track into another, which is in the description as well, which is just for listening through the whole thing. Easy listening, I guess. And this one is going to be a hopefully quite short explanation of what is in the video. First, my name is Paul. I am a game composer for action music and a metal producer, two things that go together really well, as you will hear in the next few tracks. But now, let's dive in and do a little bit of a quick explanation. There is an explanation PDF in the whole thing as well, which you can download and take a look at. Hey, yo! Hello there again. Future editing me here, and I completely forgot to mention one of the most important things. There is a free version you can download in the link in the description down below, which is a selection of some of the coolest tracks of this pack. So you can actually get started with dynamic music and leitmotifs and all that for free today. So go to the link down in the description, check out the pack, and if you enjoy it, go check out the full pack and buy the full pack. Alright, there we go. Back to the video. Phew! So for the folder structure and the naming scheme, I tried to come up with something that makes it a bit more easy to navigate. First of all, in each of the folders, there is a O1 folder called Variations and a O2 folder that's called Subloops. You can, in the beginning, ignore those two, because there's always at least one track underneath those that would be the suggested starting point that you can just try and see if it works. If you don't like that one, you can use one of the variations. When it comes to the number system, each unit of 10 marks a different variation. So 01 to 09, then 11 to 19, then 21 to 29, and so on. If there is less variations, like in the beach bar, it goes from 01 to 03, then 11 to 13, and so on. That way I can make sure that each track number ending with the same, for example, 1, something is the same. Usually it's the melody. So 01 will have the same melody as 11 and 21, for example. Same goes for 02, 12, 22, etc. I hope the video will clear up the rest. Alright, back to the video. Basically, all the 0 numbers are one thing, all the 11, all the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, and 40s, and so on. They are all supposed to be in the same category within each other. And then we have the one going from 01 up to 36.2 something. All of these are in the same tempo. Then we have all different variations of town themes, all the 40s and 50s, as well as very much at the end. The Titan Transit one are all in the same tempo. They can all be faded into each other as well. And then all the drama tracks, they are in a different tempo, slowed down, because I thought to have a more grave and dark and like heavy on the heart kind of feeling, I wanted to make them a little bit slower. But within all of these different track elements, all of them can be faded seamless within each group. So first of all, you can use all of these and fade them one into the next. The first few are 32 seconds long. All of them can be faded seamlessly. The next ones from exploration on through all the battles. All of these are 1 minute and 4 seconds long, all within the same tempo as well. So all of them can be faded seamlessly. There's a video below that also shows all the fading capabilities, and the long explanation video goes in depth with the whole thing as well. We also have a variation folder, which is going to reappear in the later folders as well. These are different versions of the same track, because I wanted to provide you all sorts of variations within a big boss fight to have all sorts of immersions within the same one thing. Then moving on from the first few menu themes, tutorial stages, the exploration and combats, and the battle themes. These are the first few that are all in the same tempo and can all be faded into each other. Then we have the town ones that start up here with 41. Here in this folder structure, we have first a few variations and a subloop folder. All of these are going to be in each of them. There is also the folder with no percussion that also has a few variations in them. They are not in every track, they're in the tracks that have percussion in them. And as you can see, there's always one folder that has 2 subfolders or 3, and 1 track that lies outside those subfolders. This is the track that I would suggest as a starting point. It also has a, as you can hear, this would be a starting point, for example. These are a different tempo as opposed to the battle tracks. And here you have this red marker that is called, my screen is too far away, Titan Twins Suggested Starts. And you can just take this tag if you are on Mac, probably also on Windows. I don't know, I haven't checked, sorry. Should have checked, I don't know now. But you can just use this tag to have all the tracks that I think would be a suggested start to start with. And again, it's all of those tracks that are outside of the subfolders. So here again, we have first just a town theme, then a town theme with guitars, town theme on piano with again variations and sub loops. And just real quick, the sub loops are basically, we have an intro part, an A part, a B part, and another part that comes before the whole thing loops again. And all of these could also be looped within each other and used over the different variations. For example, like all the pre-loops can be put as variations faded into each other. All the intros, all the A parts, all the B parts could be used as separate loops as well. I thought that would be a cool little thing if you want to extend the loop a bit or mix and match some things a little bit. You can do that as well. And again, we have the town square, same thing, same tempo again, with different variations in there as well. So that's basic town, a town with guitars, town with piano, and I call it the town square because there's people singing and percussion instruments jamming on top of that, which can all be used. Then, moving on to the jazz variations. Also part of the town theme, therefore the same tempo. We get the same melodic material, so it's all based on a leitmotif, which is what shows in there, the melody up top. Da 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 da. This melody also occurred in the exploration and battle themes already, but in a way darker version. This one is a lot more upbeat, also because of the chords that are in the background, makes the whole thing sound a lot more happy, and the melody is changed up just a slight bit to match a bit better with the chords and sound actually happy instead of sad and dark, because we don't want a sad and dark town, at least not this one. Maybe others are sad and dark, but this one is happy. Anyways, again, these are the suggested starts outside of the subfolders with variations and subloops, all the same as I said before. We have some jazz jams, which is basically based on the other version, but a bit of different instrumentation and more happening because we have guitars or no guitars and percussion up top. Then something I call a jazz ensembles because it's even more of a bigger arrangement. We have a little bit of brass up top, we have some strings and guitars. And the gospel vocals make their first appearance here, as you can see here. This was totally my voice right now. I did not just mind that. I didn't mute it for any purpose at all. What am I saying? Anyways, and then we have one last, which I think is cool too. This is basically the last one of the smaller jazz arrangements, which is, I call just small brass. We have a little bit more in the bass line going. The drums are a little bit more upbeat, and the brass section happens to do a little bit more. And to top off, I think. I can't English today. It's late. My brain is not brain exe is not exeing anymore. As you could just hear with the sentence. Anyways, to basically top off the whole jazzy brass vibe, we have a big band arrangement, which I think is super fun. We have everything in there. We have saxophones, trombones, trumpets, all of that over a cool groovy walking bass line, which is super fun, more percussion. So this is like a really cool celebration, chill, restaurant, upbeat, party vibes, which I wanted to portray with this. Then, as the next variation of the whole town theme vibe, we have something that I called the Titan Traditions. Yes. Or ethnics, because that's Titantown ethnics, because I think that's what I've been heard it be called, so I just ran with it. Which is basically arrangements of the town theme version with more let's say with more unusual instruments. In that case, for example, we have African instruments, we have Asian instruments, flutes, strings, and even the percussion. That's a drum that's been hit with my fingers. Air drumming, a bit different. And also in there, we have a folder with stems. So in case you want to put just the crowd vocals on top of something that I think didn't even make an appearance yet, coming later. We have the gospel vocals on their own, which do have a lot of hot nothing in between. Yeah. Because they don't sing as often. They always have this little bit of a space in between. Because they should be able to put on top of the other tracks. This is why it is the same length as all the other tracks, the same tempo as well. So you can just put them up top if you want to move in that direction. Same with different percussion layers. We have a first layer of percussion, second layer of percussion, which is a bit of a shaker, maraca kind of vibe. And I guess something that's a little bit of a cowbell. More cowbell. And yeah, third layer of percussion as well, which is, I guess, tablas or whatever they're called, Indian percussion, I think. The acoustic guitar ones, which is the acoustic guitar hits, and the full percussion stuff that we have in there as well. I think that covers most of the town things, right? We did the big band, the traditions African, the Asian ones, and the stems. And then we have a bit more of special ones. Because these ones, for example, we have the peculiar tradesman, which has storytelling vibes. This one has lots of weird instruments. It's supposed to be like a one-person band that, well, I mean, peculiar tradesman kind of gives it away. I had the Majora's Mask trader in my head when I composed this. So it's a weird tradesman that sells weird gizmos and gadgets and goodies, and has very weird instruments that are all out of tune because he's just wacky. Then we have a beach bar, because why not? That's fun. If you want to go for a chill drink and have fun on the beach, there you go. Different variations of that. Again, variation sub loops folder as before. Then we have one of my favorite ones, which I've called Nostalgia, which is a music box, a Spieluhr, as it was called in German, and I've been heard being called that way in English as well. This has very much nostalgic, melancholic kind of vibes that you can use for storytelling purposes. Also in the same tempo. Can also be used for callbacks. Need to have a sepia filter. I've made that joke in the other video too. I'm so funny. I have to recycle jokes. Anyways, so much for that. Variations again. Different melodies, which can be used, for example, for having separated siblings coming together. Each of them has a music box with the first melody, second melody, then no melody before they come together, and then one that plays both melodies together, which is this version. When they come together and are happy again because they found each other. Yay! Storytelling! And then we also have Divine Celebration, which is a little bit of a church vibe, where the gospel vocals make their return, which is super cool for this part. We have another one with crowd vocals, which I think I've shown the first time now. And something with both the crowd and the gospel vocals. And as the last part in the same tempo, two more parts, we got the royal family with singers, choir singers, and harpsichord, as well as strings and gospel vocals or crowd vocals, and both of them together. Again, all in the same tempo. Can be faded perfectly for like a castle theme or like a mayor uptown, whatever you feel like. And to top the whole thing off, the town vibes up, I thought it would be cool to have a little bit of a teenagey, juvenile battle theme in there as well, which are three different variations, or more variations, but three different intensity layers with a lot of variations in and of themselves as well. First intensity layer with and without the crowd vocals. Second one, a bit more busy drums, a bit more synthy stuff going on. The melody is reintroduced in the belly, blingy bellies. And at the very most intense, we have this one, bringing the metal with the blue guitar back there. Bam, bam, can you see blue? I'm tripping over things. Anyways, this one can be used for either some sort of tutorials within the town. It can also be used for something like minigame. I had the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2 in my head for this one, the Twilight Town, because there's lots of fun minigames, as well as the struggle tournament, where you basically beat each other up with, it's not even plastic, like foamy beaters or something, supposed to be like a fun little battle thing, juvenile thing, which I thought would be a cool addition as the last thing for the town part. And again, all of these were in the same tempo starting for the first town theme. Up until this point, all of those are the same tempo. And we have one last thing that is in this tempo as well, which is the Titan Transit here at the very end, which is like a road trip kind of thing. For all of this, I basically had Final Fantasy 15, which was road trip simulator with the bros. I had that in mind for all of this. Sitting like in a car, listening to cool stuff. Or this is a bit more, I guess, of a blues kind of thing with the blue guitars. And of course, with and without the big crowd vocals. This could be another thing for the road trip. Here, the more organ-y kind of version. Again, Final Fantasy 15 was in my head when I composed this variation, because this has such Hammerhead feelings to me. So basically like a garage if you're more modern, or I don't know, a horse carriage fixing thing. Whatever your imagination thinks this could be used for. But that's something I had in mind. And then I also added a metal version, because metal is cool. With a bit more dissonant chords and shit. That is fun. And the vocals up top. And then, whoops, don't play both things. At the very end, we have the everything version. Let's take the one without the vocals. Which has all the tracks that I previously had in there. The acoustic guitars, the clean guitars, the electric guitars, the organ. It is very crowded, but it's also very cool. And yeah, all of these can also be used, for example, to end a chapter. Driving into the sunset, the cool guys with their long beards and biker helmets and really cool sunglasses. That's the theme for that. And yeah, I think this is fun. And I mean, if you have a vocalist or something, you can record vocals on top of that and have some sort of lyrical meaning as well. And maybe use a melody that I composed with the other ones. That could be a cool thing to do here as well. And as the final thing in this pack, I thought we need some tragedy in our lives as well. Which I have provided with the Titan Tragedy, the dramatic piano, strings, and mellotron versions. We have, first, solo piano, just the chords, really dark and melancholic. We have the choir up top, which makes another appearance, which is the same choir, the same real-life choir that sings German, which is some friends of mine and me. That also appeared in the very beginning in our battle themes, here in the boss battles and the calm battles. I thought having them make a reappearance is also really cool leitmotivic callback to whatever that was. And we have different versions with some strings, some plucks, lots and lots and lots of variations here with all sorts of different chords played and different variations of the violins, the strings, the plucks, all of that. I needed to sneeze. We got another one which is based on strings instead of the piano, which is also really dramatic. We have the first choir, which was my friends and me. We have a second choir, which is a more orchestral kind of sounds that also does the lyrics. And then we have the mixture, which I think is the coolest one because it's the fullest one, but it's also the fullest one, which makes it less, well, less intricate, I guess is the word. Less intimate. Something like that. But yeah, you can bring some really dramatic storytelling with this. And also the nostalgia one from before. And lastly, we got the Mellotron, which is very inspired by Final Fantasy X. I think it's the Macalania Forest, where they had a similar sound to this, where I probably first heard this. It's an instrument that is basically a really, really old tape machine sampler kind of thing that basically plays pre-recorded things when you press down a button that puts the tape into motion. That kind of thing is the easiest way to explain it. Been used on countless like stuff for Beatles, I think the Strawberry Field Forever, Prog Vibes, King Crimson, stuff like that. This is where this was inspired by. Alright, that's all the tracks that are in this game music pack. And as a very last thing, I just want to show you real quick that all of these loop perfectly. There is a longer version of this in the other video, but here is, for example, the end of the first loop. Boom, going back. Then, as you can see here, we have the fighting variations that also loop back perfectly. You can switch between those here very easily. You just have to do those in your own programs. Here we have the aggressive ones. Perfectly fadeable. Some of them need a longer fade, some of them can be faded really easily from one thing into the next. Same again with all of the town themes. So if we go here, they are way longer because, whoops, I have to solo it. Of course, because different tempo. Back to the beginning again. Same with all of these. We have a percussion thing going on, back. And all of these, again, perfectly fadeable, because all of these are the different town tracks, which you can move from one thing to the other really, really easily. All of them with longer or shorter fades, depending on how different the mood is. They can all be faded. The dramatic ones are different tempo, as you can see here again, because they are longer, because they're slower. And going back to the beginning again, pew. And all of those can be faded seamlessly as well. Alright, that was as short as I can get it. I'm sorry it is still long, but this pack has a lot of stuff in it. I'd be really, really happy to hear what you do with it. If you do something with it, let me know. You can either shoot me an email at paul@hybrismusic.com or on all the social media, pwhybrismusic. You can just tag me or text me on Instagram, for example. Also Twitter, Blue Sky, all of the things. So, yeah. Let's go to a more upbeat one for the outro. That is the shortest I can make this introduction with the whole thing. It is very convoluted, but you can go through the guide to maybe make the thing a bit more easy to know what is what, and possible applications with story ideas I've also put into the big PDF. And yeah, with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for checking out this pack. I hope you're having as much fun with using this pack as I had creating it. Except for the times when the software hated me, that's a different story. I did have fun creating this because a lot of different challenges with all the different layers, anything I could think of, and I really hope you enjoyed as much as I think it can be useful to a lot of people. So yeah, go out, use leitmotifs and dynamic music, maybe have this as your primer into leitmotifs and dynamic music, and maybe you're going to love it as much as I do, because this is the reason why I created this pack. Dynamic music is so amazing, leitmotifs are super cool, and I just wanted to make one big pack with everything I could think of in it to just make a whole journey, musical journey that you can use to enhance the storytelling and especially the immersion of the game, because the immersion is such an important thing when it comes to game, as all of you know, I'm sure, and music has a big part in immersion. Alright, I've talked enough. This video is long enough already. Thank you again so much for watching. I'm Paul, Hybris Music, composer, melody producer, and guess that's it. Subscribe if you want for more stuff like this. I also do live stream with live composing. Hit me up if you did something with the tracks, I'd really love to hear it. And of course I also do custom music, so if that sounds interesting to you, if these tracks are something that would be cool, and you want to have something more custom for your game music, go and hit me up, paul@hybrismusic, or social media, all the things I already said before. I'm talking too much. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye! bye.